Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, sim racing fans. I'm Sean Stam, and you've tuned in to Stam Studio Network for the West Coast Sim Racing's Wayne's World 50 here at Watkins Glen International. Party time, excellent. Tonight is a 40-minute MultiClass showdown. These punchy, grippy Toyota GR86 versus the light, agile Mazda MX-5s. I think we'll see these GR86 here muscle their way down and through the S's and straights here from Watkins Glen. This cup layout's here, only 8 turns, 2.5 miles to work with per lap. And also don't forget that 15-minute mark definitely will be that competition caution thrown. Think of it like a concert here tonight. I'll intermission, no stairway sign, but before tuning it up, before this 8-mile track here, you better strap in, load up on drinks, load up on snacks, because we got drivers already gridding up here tonight. Taking a look at, before we take a look at the starting grid, we'll take a look at the race info. One of my favorite tracks here, actually NASCAR is here this weekend. I'm sure we will see some Shane Van Gisbergen action take it into victory lane. But there you see it, couldn't be a better day for racing here. 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 0% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 5-mile-per-hour winds. 40-minute race, competition caution at the 15th minute mark. Once again, if you're just now joining in, well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you're new here, I'm Sean Stam. I run things here, producer, director, and commentator here tonight for the West Coast Sim Racing League. Taking a look at the starting grid, how about it? I noticed Daniel Higgins, he was very fast in practice. Toyota GR86, the first 7 drivers here tonight, because we do have a start a split grid here between classes. Daniel Higgins will slap it out there on the pole, and with this Reese starting right there beside him, fastest driver in practice. Warren Johnson, league owner here tonight, birthday man himself. Warren, good luck in your race here tonight, starting in the inside of what will be the second row. Benjamin Forehand, Ali Xay, Steven Shakespeare, Andreas Profana, and Joe Rainey. Well, actually, Joe Rainey's going to start the Mazda grid out there. Nico Colby, Stone Colby, Jake Steckler, Andrew Bound, Lewis Holloway, Aaron Schultz, Darren Colby, Andreas Gutierrez, as well as Josh Hunter, rounding out our 18-driver field here tonight. All right, so with this split start grid, we're going to do something special here tonight on Stam Studio Network. We're going to get you a little split screen action here. Bottom of the screen should be the old GR86, excuse me, the Mazda MX-5 start with the GR86s starting up here in front of these Mazdas. I think we'll see some switchbacks happening here tonight. There you see it, on the gas, up into the turn 1 we go, where we stop, nobody knows. Look at the 3 wide already starting into here in turn 1. Joe Rainey, oh, we already got contact back of the pack. We'll keep things moving and grooving up here in front. Warren Johnson's getting forced 3 wide. Here comes Ali Xay, Andreas Profana's right there with him. Still 3 wide heading up the S's. We better settle this out. We'll go looking backing up to the race lead here at the top of the screen. Daniel Higgins, Amethyst Reese. Front 2 GR86 runners. Here comes Joe Rainey, Brandon Birch, Andrew Bound right there with these drivers. Things will settle back down to 2, but through the bus stop here, you better have your nits and wits about you here. Well, it looks like Warren oh, a little bit of contact there. I think that Steven Shakespeare got Andreas Profana right there, bottom of the screen. We'll go single single file here now, as well as single screen action. Battle for the race lead. Amethyst Reese took it away from Daniel Higgins. She was the fastest driver here in practice, but don't look now. Here goes Daniel Higgins. He's going to try the outside line here at turns number 7 and 8. A little bit of side by side on my side. A little bit of Amethyst Reese back up to the lead. Still side by side. Look at Daniel Higgins making the inside work. Here we go, 3 wide. 2 different race classes here going at it at Watkins Glen. We'll settle it back down to 2 for the Wayne's World 50 here tonight, West Coast Sim Racing League. Continue to party on ears, possibly see some elbows thrown. Looks like Warren Johnson, birthday boy, he's going to fall back all the way to P7 overall. That's 4th in class. Still side by side. Here comes Joe Rainey. He's going to clear him. Oh man, Benjamin Forant. I hope he's got the spotter pack here tonight saying, clear, take it, and look at the speed differential that we're going to see here tonight, especially from the short shoot of a straightaway that we have. Look at the Mazdas versus the Toyotas here tonight. Stone Colby trying to make some spots early on as he turns into a lawnmower. Hang on to it, Stone. Oh, Stone's gonna lose 1 spot in that fiasco. Somehow hangs on to it. Just drops out to P8 overall. The battle is lost, but the war has not been won yet here out front of Amethyst Reese. She's still looking with a 0.5 second gap. 3 wide. We better settle it down. There's contact there. Oh no, that's gonna be, I think, Andreas Bavana gets through it. Looks like that was Josh Hunter involved. Oh, right in front of the cameraman. 062 out, down, and around early on. He's gonna have to find his way to the pits here pretty soon. No instant repairs, but with that competition caution, we'll be able to bunch these drivers all back up to one another. Amethyst Reese, Daniel Higgins, Brandon Birch right now the top 3 overall. Brandon Birch sits leader in Mazda MX-5 right now as we start to head our way back and up to the SS section once again. Call it the roller section, coaster section here. Hopping on board with Brandon Birch, leader Mazda MX-5. A little bit more power here on the straights. 3 wide for the race lead here in the MX-5 versus GR86 West Coast Sim Racing League. Who gives way? We're gonna go, so no race leader. Brandon Birch out, down, and around. Excuse me, that's class leader race down, around, and around early on. We're gonna take a look at this replay as well as the start of the race replay. We're gonna start with Brandon Birch here. As we look 3 wide, I don't know how you can possibly think through I was gonna settle out through the bus stop. It did work there for a moment, but Brandon Birch, I think, got a little too deep. Made heavy contact the outside. Yeah, that'd be the inside safety barrier there. After a little bit of contact that time, we'll take a race replay at the start of the race here and when the contact began to ensue. Uh-oh, if you're a Colby fan here, shield your eyeballs. Look at the 4 wide. Nico Colby in the sandwich of it. I believe that's Jake Steckler. Stone Colby right there with him in the 52. Uh-oh, what happens here? There's the contact that starts to ensue. Nico Colby gets sent around there as we take a look at the trees. 3 wide, we'll settle it back down to 2. That's a lot of Mazda MX-5s involved early on in this race. We'll take a look at this race replay at speed this time around. Just nowhere to go, and if one more look at this replay here, if we hop on board with Nico Colby. Speaking of nowhere to go, you know, listen how violent a wreck is here, even within the iRacing universe. All right, at least it's the sim world. We can take them down to pit lane here 10 minutes time and re-rack them, restack them. Speaking of re-rack them, restack them, Warren Johnson starts to work his way through the race field. Here comes Daniel Higgins. Daniel, unfortunately, he falls back to P5 here after he starts up there on the front row. But this GR86 driver sits P3 in class here. He's going to try to get a little bit of a run here off of Warren Johnson's rear end. Birthday man works up to P4 overall. That's P2 in class. Probably going to hear from league owner himself here at the competition caution, so make sure you stick around for that. As well as if you joined us in the vertical broadcast, if you're looking for your chat to be read here tonight, make sure you join us in the long ways horizontal broadcast, also live here on Stamps Studio Network. Be sure as I start to look at YouTube chats here popping off, you can press that little gear icon in the top right or bottom right of your screen. Bump this quality up here to 1440p. We got Terry, we got Edward, as well as Ashley in here, new member here of Stam Studio Network. I can tell you who Ashley's rooting on here tonight, Stone Colby. Unfortunately, Stone, he's all the way back here in 5th in the Mazda MX-5 class. He had a little bit of incident earlier on in the race. They got Logan also hanging out here with us. Matter of fact, Stone and Nico are both running 5th and 6th back to nose right now in the MX-5 class. Battle's starting to heat up in the separation of classes here because Andrew Bound, he has now made it back around from Joe Rainey for the P2 spot. Looks like Joe Rainey, he's made it his way, muscled his way, you could call it, back up to P3. Warren Johnson, Daniel Higgins, Benjamin Forehand, Darren Colby, Jake Steckler, Andreas Profan, and Ali Ixay rounding out the overall top 10. Amethyst Reese here tonight, guys and gals. She's really started to pull a gap here, even with these lower horsepower, very lightweight cars here within the iRacing universe. You think that you would have at least some sort of run here within the the short back straightaway up and through the S's section. There you see Amethyst start to work with that draft, try and break it here as Andrew Bound continues to work his way up through the field. 11 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. He's starting to, Charlotte the Sean and Tater curse here. Andrew Bound's gonna run wide for that Samuel Jackson machine. Rainey Holmes Racing, Joe Rainey up to P2. He's got a hard charging birthday boy on his rear bumper. Joe Rainey's gonna try to run that outside line, carry the speed, carry the momentum here heading into turns 7 and 8 to complete lap number 6. Here we go. You don't really want to have the inside line here. Your momentum gets pinched off here. Looks like Andrew Bound, he'll drop over back into P3 overall as we get blinded here out of turn number 8. 8.5 minutes down, about a couple minutes here until that competition caution. Real quick, while I try to figure things out here, enjoy a quick crank it up here on Stam Studio Network. Sights and sounds here at Watkins Glen. Slowly crank this puppy down. You might want to do it quickly here. Warren Johnson has got around Andrew Bound after his incident coming out of the bus stop here. Could we see birthday boy himself? Warren Johnson, he's worked his way up to P2. We could possibly see him out here in victory lane here tonight. 24 is showing that he has some very nice speed here at the Wayne's World 50 live at the Glen. Real quick, here's a look at the lap time differential between our two race leaders. Amethyst Reese, there she was only faster. Only 3, 4, 6, and 7. But Warren Johnson, he was A little bit slower there, lap 5, but we'll have to see where this battle continues to heat up and continues to ensue, because Warren Johnson has now worked his way up to P2. All right, I promise I didn't set that one up. That was just to kind of load off the old noggin there. I didn't think I had it in me. Man, I didn't think it, these GR86s had them in here tonight to take it to these Mazda MX-5s. Even with the big old rear wing up top, man. Top 4 right now, GR86s. Amethyst Reese, Warren Johnson, Benjamin Forant, and Daniel Higgins. No, I thought we'd start to see Warren Johnson start to peek down the inside there heading into turn 1. These drivers, both of them taking an off track as both sets of tires ran just a little wide there heading out of turn number 1. Trust me, ran way too many official races here this week within the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. This is such a, you wouldn't even think of it. It's not really that technical, but you gotta really carry the momentum here tonight, especially in these lightweight, light horsepower cars. We got right now a 3-horse breakaway for the race lead, coming up to 3 minutes to go till that competition yellow. Something I noticed here, if we hop on board of Benjamin Forant, look at Benjamin. He's going to try to make the outside line work here. Crossover move, possibly. No, thinks better of it. Gets right back within the draft of Warren Johnson. Gets right on that back bumper as well. Shoving Warren Johnson, trying to do everything that these two do that they can to catch Amethyst Reese. This isn't a passing zone that I have really known here before. Warren Johnson says, hey, Sean, look at this, man. This is the Wayne's World 50 here tonight. Looks like Warren is trying to make it the Warren's World here tonight as he has a run down the inside line here. 2.5 minutes to go till the competition yellow. Warren Johnson to the race lead, nosing ahead into turn number 1. Looks like he'll do it. How about it? 24 up here, quarter clear. He's going to lead this lap by side, up through the S as we go. This might get a little treacherous here if these drivers continue to look side by side up into the bus stop section. 2 Mazda MX-5s here. Joe Rainey's one of them. That's Andrew Bound here. These 2 Mazda MX-5s there, running nose to tail, are also fighting for the race lead. Warren Johnson, he's going to play a defensive move here heading into the bus stop. It looks like he's got it clear here. Just needs to run about a lap and a half, 2 more laps here to make this official, at least until the competition caution. Here comes the rest of the pack here heading through the bus stop section. Jake Steckler, Andreas Bafana, Darren Colby stalking, creeping out the dungeon. Driver number 47 up to P4 in class. Back up here to the blanket, the battle for the race lead. 1 minute to go till the competition yellow. Benjamin Forant, he's trying to hold off Andrew Bound right now. Andrew Bound's trying to hold off Joe Rainey, and Joe Rainey's trying to hold off Daniel Higgins, who is, of course, the different class driver, the GR86. But these drivers, these cars, so similar on pace. You know what this is starting to remind me of here, boys and girls? I'm giving you a second. All right, if you're newer here, man, I used to run a league myself, the Cup versus Cup, NASCAR versus Porsche Cup, extremely similar there on both speed and pace. Watkins Glen was, I think, the best track for it here. Well, I'm starting to see lots of similar battles. 30 seconds to go till the competition caution here comes out. Will Amethyst Reese make a move here, and Warren Johnson into the bus stop. 20 seconds to go. Amethyst knows she's going to think better of it. That's your birthday present there from Miss Amethyst Reese, Warren Johnson. Hopefully you like that one. It was wrapped up nicely. 10 seconds to go. Will she have a move? Will there be a move here made? Looks like it will. Joe Rainey, he's going to try to make it out down the outside of the carousel. All right, back him down. Back him down here, boys and girls. There you see it, top left of your screen. Yellow flag is out. Birthday man himself, Warren Johnson, up here to the race lead. Amethyst Reese up to P2, where she started this race, fastest driver in practice. Benjamin Forant up to P3, and then leading the Mazda MX-5 class here, of course. Man, Joe Rainey, he has been on a heater here lately. Gotta remember, Joe, he finished Okay, I was checking my notes here. I can tell you Joe's running 7th in the points right now. Our point standings, of course, belonging to Josh Hunter, Daniel Higgins, Amethyst Reese up there in the top 3. Benjamin Forant, Andrew Bound, Ali Xay. Then you got Joe Rainey there. Jake Steckler, Brandon Birch, and Warren Johnson there rounding out the top 10 in the multi-class West Coast Sim Racing points. We're going to get some wave rounds here tonight. We're going to get these all get everybody bunched and scrunched all back together. Stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. My name's Sean Stam. You're watching the Wayne's World 50 here tonight on Stam Studio Network. Party time, excellent. I'll be right back with you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hey, league owner, we got you up here in the booth. Warren Johnson, how's your race going so far? You're up here in the lead.
Oh man, this feels good. I love this track. This is the first track I ever got a win on in iRacing. I have multiple wins here, so in this configuration. So I'm loving it. Feeling good. Birthday, 28. Can't get better than this.
About to say, man, happy birthday to you here. Looks like we got 1-2 more laps here till we get back to racing here. Congratulations here on, making your way up here to the lead pack here, Warren, and happy birthday. And I know you wanted to keep this short, so I'm gonna let you get going. We got everybody waved around, and just let me know if you got anything else up here for me.
No worries, you're doing good, I'm sure. I'm happy to be here, and let's look forward to the good rest of the race. And then just put me in the apex when we're done. But yeah, man, this is a fun race, so I'm looking forward to it's gonna be scary in P1. It already is with all that drafting. Is just ridiculous, man. So
all righty, we'll make the old Toyota GR86 crew proud here tonight. You got 3 of them leading the race.
Thanks, Sean. We'll see you after the race, hopefully.
Thanks, Warren. Happy birthday again, man. Alrighty, that was a league owner, man, myth legend himself, old Warren Johnson. Lights are still on the pace car, so let's see. Gonna get the track mat pulled up here. Going to make sure we have all of our wave rounds and everybody caught back up to the lead pack before we get racing here. So I'm gonna take you through the field here. Warren Johnson, we're just talking about Miss Amethyst Reese. She, the virtual astronaut. She's gonna work her way once again where she started this race. I mentioned it a couple moments ago, but got to remember she was fastest in practice. Wonder if she's going to have anything for Warren Johnson this race restart. Benjamin Forant sitting 3rd in the overall standings. But Joe Rainey, she sits 4th. But you got to remember, Mazda MX-5. We got 2 different classes here racing tonight. Joe Rainey leads the Mazda MX-5 class. Daniel Higgins, he sits P4. In the GR86 class, P5 overall. We got Andrew Bound running right there behind Daniel Higgins, running in the P2 Mazda MX-5 class. Jake Steckler, Andreas Profana rounding out P8 overall. Darren Colby, P4 right now in Mazda MX-5. Stone right behind his dad. Aaron Schultz, Stephen Shakespeare, Nico Colby, Josh Hunter, Brandon Birch out here, the old vehiclebuyers.com 36 machine. Got some cosmetic damage on the front end of that Mazda MX-5. I think that's no harm, no foul there. Matter of fact, if we hop on board with Josh Hunter here. Yeah, the front end of that Mazda has definitely seen better days of Brandon Birch, but at least it's all virtual. You won't have to pay for it after this race. He could have taken the little pit entry there and taking some damage repair. But anyways, Ali Xe, since P16, Lewis Holloway made it out here on track tonight. Lewis runs P17 as he works his way back up to the pack here. And Adrian Gutierrez, he made it out. I believe this is Impulse Effect here on the socials. Make sure you check that out there on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube as well. Adrian Gutierrez works his way, falls back to P18 right now, but keep your eye on that number 9 this race restart. Speaking of Adrian Gutierrez, I think we're going to have all these drivers caught back up here this time, so we're going to get things down to 1 lap to go. Oh, there you see it. Lights are already out on the iRacing safety pace car. These drivers trying to do everything that they can to work their car, their tires, their brakes, everything back up to operating temps and pressures here tonight. Be interesting to see if old birthday boy, 28, I believe he said, Warren Johnson, up here to the race lead. Will he have the speed, the pace to hold off the field here tonight? If you're just now joining in, well, first of all, I appreciate you. If you're new here on Stam Studio Network, welcome in. My name's Sean Stammer. We got Terry in the YouTube chat, Moonlight Dancer, D Ghost, welcome back in as well. Ashley, rooting on Stone here tonight. Keep your eye on that about mid-pack, this race restart. We can go side by side cams as well. All right, let me know who your race pick to win here is tonight, because I think it is, like Warren said, with this long draft up here within the run through the S's, especially towards the straight heading into the bus stop, there's really anybody's game here up within the top 5. Here we go, split screen action once again on Stam Studio Network. We're going to get side by side once again. Green flag is out here at Watkins Glen. Looks like Amethyst Reese got a jump there over Warren Warren Johnson's got a jump on the pack there, excuse me, as he was out of the camera shots. You look away for 1 moment's time there as Warren, he shot out of the can, and as he already works his way up through the S's section. Bottom of your screen, it's going to be Darren Colby, Jake Steckler. Looks like Slater Colby's going to be right there in with them. Nope, no Slater here tonight. That is the Darren Colby VehicleBuyers.com machine. Joe Rainey, he continues to lead the Mazda MX-5s heading up into the bus stop here on this race restart. Single filing it out here early on, and you better hope so, because you're going to try to get and hit these lap times, hit these apexes. Oh, speaking of it here, look at Daniel Higgins. He's going to have a run here on the inside of Joe Rainey. This is Mazda versus Toyota here. Does Jake Steckler also... Jake Steckler, there's Joe Rainey up here. Joe Rainey tries to fight for that first spot here in the Mazda MX-5. But remember what happened earlier on in the race for Benjamin Forant as well as Brandon Birch. Brandon Birch got spun out of the race lead. If it was his incident or not, they're going into the bus stop. You got to be careful about how hard that you battle these other class drivers here in front of you. Remember what you're battling here tonight. You're not battling for the overall position. You're battling for that race class win. Speaking of race class win, Warren Johnson is starting to pull away from the pack. Amethyst Reese, Benjamin Forant, Joe Rainey up to B4. Here comes Daniel Higgins. Here's Jake Steckler. That's why I said his name. I saw this driver, number 95, stalking, creeping up here to the front of the pack. Jake sits 5 spots gained since the original drop to the green flag. Here we go. About 15 minutes left in this race here. Darren Colby continues to sit right up there with Stone Colby as these drivers start to reel in Andreas Profano. If I told you our closest battle right now on track, I think we've seen it, this isn't the first time that we've seen contact here between them as well. Steven Shakespeare gets into the back of the Brandon Birch Vehicle Buyers Mazda MX-5 machine. Continue to stay side by side here heading into turn number 7 and 8. Remember, if you're Brandon Birch, this isn't really a corner that you want to be caught on the inside of there, but he's going to make it work. Here comes Steven Shakespeare. He's going to try to make the crossover work here as he gets to the outside line. No grip out there. Steven Shakespeare is going to just botch the exit of the corner there. I know I was talking about the inside line heading into turn number 7 and 8. Not being the passing zone opportunity there, but for Warren Johnson, that's where he made the pass for the race lead before the competition caution had come out. Matter of fact, he's still starting to run away. He's still continuing to run away from Amethyst Reese. We'll see if this statement holds up though. Lap time differential. Amethyst Reese has been faster the last couple of laps here. Warren Johnson, this is what he was scared of. The draft, the slipstream here tonight. And here comes Amethyst Reese. Nyan Cat Machine slots it down the inside. Warren Johnson, a little bit of a point by there saying just wants to live and fight another day here from Watkins Glen. Benjamin Forehand is looking here to say party time. Excellent in the Wayne's World 50 here from Watkins Glen. Warren Johnson, does he have a little bit of a run? He does. He's going to get on the outside line this time by Amethyst Reese, playing defense of the century here tonight. Warren's going to have the inside here in turn number 8. Will there be contact? Not this time by. Warren's going to be the meat of the sandwich here. Birthday boy to P2. Benjamin Forehand to P3. Jake Steckler still continues to stalk and creep his way back up to P7. Also Daniel Higgins here, all side by side once again, right when we looked away from it. Warren Johnson, no contact yet. Look at the speed, look at the racecraft from West Coast Sim Racing League. 3 wide up and through the S's. Have you ever? I have never. Look at these drivers leaving the room. Oh, Warren Johnson will take it away from Amethyst and Benjamin Forehand. Benjamin will hop on board with here as he gets a shot to Warren Johnson's rear end. What happens here into the bus stop? These drivers will fly by the the bus stop camera there. Looks like Warren will continue to retain the lead. Benjamin Forehand, driver 35 for the GR86 class, saying I got places to be. Tries to make the outside line here work for the carousel. You can make the speed, you can make the momentum here work tonight as Joe Rainey continued to lead the Mazda MX-5 class. But don't look now. Here comes Andrew Bound. Here comes Jake Steckler, Stone Colby, as well as Darren Colby starting to work their way up as well. It's about 13 minutes left to go in the race, coming to 12 this time by. That was a quick back and look at the closest battles here on the track, but right now we're going to work our way back up to the race lead. Once again, Warren Johnson, not the first time we've seen it here tonight. Sure, he has worked that gap, but it just takes one mistake here. One mistake here from Watkins Glen, and you will see what we just saw 2 laps ago. Amethyst Reese, Benjamin Forehand work their way back to Warren Johnson's rear end. With Benjamin Forehand here, what transpires as we work our way through the forest here? Warren Johnson, he's going to continue to run away there, a little bit from Amethyst Reese. Here comes Benjamin Forehand. He's starting to gain just a slight bit on Amethyst Reese's rear end. I know I said that Warren Johnson, he made the entrance to the bus stop look good as he headed Mach 1, Mach 2 into it, but heading faster into a corner, all that you do is you compromise the speed there on exit. Ooh, speaking of compromised speed on exit, I thought we were going to start to look into turn 7, another side-by-side there, but no, thankfully so. Andrew Bound and Andreas Profana will single file it out here. Dynaco Stam Studio Network, GR86 there for Andreas Profana. He's having himself a really nice run here tonight. Driver out of Italy, 95, works his way up to P8, trying to once again take it away from Andrew Bound. Jake Steckler, are we about to see? I was about to hold my breath there. If we're about to see 3 wide for the 3rd time tonight here up in the S's. These drivers are begging for it here, it looks like. On Andrew Bound here, he's just had a rough run in the Mazda MX-5. Doesn't really have the top speed that these GR86s do, but on Andrew Bound with the speed that his Mazda MX-5 has within the slower sections, as well as just everything that Andrew knows there behind the wheel, both on the sim as well as the real life racing world here. Andrew Bound, the 651, he continues to sit about that 3rd position in the Mazda MX-5 class. Here we go once again. switching back and forth here. Andreas Bavana, man oh man, Dynaco Machine, GR86. Oh, I thought gonna look down the inside of Jake Steckler. How about Jake though? Vehicle Buyers Monster MX-5. He's gonna work his way from P5 as we have a Andrew Bound trying to play a little bit of defense on my side. Well, actually it's Benjamin forehands left side. Benjamin, Andrew, contact coming to the start-finish line. 9 minutes to go here from Watkins Glen. Let me know who takes it here tonight. Does Amethyst Reed? Well, matter of fact, we've seen her take away the lead from Warren Johnson. We'll take a look at the replay of how this one happened here. Yeah, this is heading into turn one. I think this has kind of been Warren Johnson's sort of weak spot here tonight because you can't really defend with that speed and momentum that Amethyst Reese is able to get even on the short shoot heading into turn one. Warren Johnson can't really defend that one for Amethyst Reese, but although these are two GR86s, two drivers with very similar pace, I still wouldn't count out Warren Johnson from the race lead here tonight. 0.2 of a second. That's just about one car length separating these two drivers for the race lead. Coming 9 minutes to go this time by Warren Johnson. Slot right back in, not looking to take the spot there into turn 7, but here looking into turn 8, gonna make the outside line work. No, just tries to make the outside nose, tries to make Amethyst look in here in her rear view mirror. It's Daniel Higgins. If these two drivers start to beat and bang here, I wouldn't count out Daniel Higgins for the race win here. Warren Johnson there just once again trying to mess with Miss Amethyst Reese, trying to get within that rear view, not camera, to rear view mirror in these GR86s. We'll hop on board with Amethyst Reese rear view camera. It's a great look at it here. These elevation changes going to work here for these drivers in the West Coast Sim Racing Multi-Class League. Warren Johnson's going to have a nice run here coming into the bus stop. We'll hop on board with Warren Johnson as he bumps her so hard. Gets a nice look into the inside of the rear bumper there. What mail is Amethyst Reese hauling into the bus stop? Well, that mail's fast enough to continue to hold off that hard-charging Warren Johnson. I'll tell you, though, I don't know about you. There's 2 times in a race that I will fight my butt off here for the race win. It is if it is a home track race, which we've seen time and time again here for Warren Johnson, as well as if it's my birthday, I'm gonna let him know here who the track belongs to. Warren Johnson, he tries to take a look down the inside line once again. Get the sunglasses out here tonight as we're getting blinded out of turn number 8. Warren Johnson still not really able to make the move happen here, but coming up to 7 and 6 minutes left in this race. I don't hate it. Try to play with Amethyst within her rear view mirror here once again. Oh, Warren Johnson, look at it. He doesn't send it too deep in there. Knows he's going to take the off track here. Gets on track before you have to take the slow down penalty. Who takes the win here tonight? Will it be Miss Amethyst Reese? Will it be Birthday Boy? Or will it be stalking, creeping Shark Boy there, Daniel Higgins? Daniel, who we're on board with now. Oh, he's going to make the switchback happen here. No, what do you call it there? No shake and bake action here for Warren Johnson. We're going to look 3 wide into the bus stop, settling it back down to 2. Amethyst Reese continuing to hold him off. Here comes Warren Johnson. He's trying to just find some speed, find some momentum out of this right-hand carousel that seems to never end at Watkins Glen. Amethyst, she's going to get on the gas a little bit too soon. She's going to run a little too wide. Here comes Warren Johnson. He's going to close the gap back down once again. What was 0.4 of a second closes it back down to 0.3 of a second. 5 minutes to go left here from the Wayne's World 50 at Watkins. Look at this camera shots here. These drivers only separated by about 2 car lengths there. Amethyst Reese breaks the draft. They're heading into turn number 1. Will we see a move? I don't think it's will. It is when will we see the move for Warren Johnson. If we hop on board with Daniel Higgins here as he gets a massive run heading into the S's. Oh man, I didn't think Daniel Higgins wanted to make this run work. As he didn't want I don't know if I wanted to make it work over league owner Warren Johnson, birthday boy himself here, but Daniel Higgins unfortunately saying, I got places to be. That's up here to the race lead. Higgins versus Reese. Hadn't been the first time that we've seen this within the West Coast Sim Racing League history books here within the STAM Studio Network broadcasting universe. Amethyst Reese continuing to hold him off. I don't think it's the end of the race just yet. Real quick, battle here for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Really is here a battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Nico Colby, this driver sits 4th in the Mazda MX-5 class. Runner for YouthAthleteOfTheYear.org right now. Should go and vote for Nico Colby as he's trying to hold off Josh Hunter. Stone Colby right here as well. Stone, he started P11. He's going to gain 1 spot since the start of the race, but he sits 6th spot here in the Mazda MX-5 class. Should be 2 laps to go if my math is most certainly mathing here tonight. Throw a blanket over Jake Steckler, Nico Colby, Josh Hunter. Who do you have for the race win as well as within this pack? Things are starting to heat up and broil. Speaking of heat up and broil, here we go once again. Amethyst Reese, Daniel Higgins. Oh, Daniel works his way. Yep, we saw it. He worked his way down and across Warren Johnson into the S's last lap by. Does Daniel Higgins have anything for Amethyst Reese? If we do see it, it's got to be right now. Daniel Higgins, he's going to look down the outside of the bus stop. What transpires here? Will there be contact? No, of course not. This is the West Coast Sim Racing League. You can't beat the cleanliness and also can't beat the competitiveness here tonight. We've seen Daniel Higgins work his way cleanly to the race lead. Warren Johnson falls back to P3 as he gets a popcorn bucket out here. Amethyst Reese is going to try it down the outside line once again into turn 7. I hate this right now if you're Daniel Higgins. You're pinned down to the inside line. No, you're not, though. Amethyst Reese leaves the room as she's going to work down the inside line. It's going to switch over. She crosses over 3 wide for the race lead. All right, apologies. It'll be 2 laps to go this time by. Who do you have? We'll settle it back down to 2 by 2 this time. I thought we were working 3. Warren Johnson smartly gonna back it here. Lives to fight another day. He just wants to see the checkered flag here tonight. Here comes Warren Johnson. Daniel Higgins side by side up the S's. I've normally said in the NASCAR world we've seen this work 3 wide though. We have barely seen work here tonight. We've even seen a glimpse of 4 wide though. Of course we're gonna see 2 wide work here. Warren Johnson, he's back up to P2. Daniel Higgins for the 2nd lap in a row. He's gonna work the outside line. Speaking of seconds here tonight, 2 laps to go coming up to this time by. You boys better sell it out here if you want to catch here at Miss Amethyst Reese. Fastest driver in practice, Nyan Cat Machine, number 37, GR86, trying to run away with it here tonight. Why not here? Of course we're going to go split cams here for coming up to 2 and 1 lap to go within the race. Leaders on the top and a really nice battle there between Andrew Bound and Joe Rainey for the race lead of Mazda MX-5. There you see Barney up there in the top of your screen. Should be, yeah, there you saw it. He's waving that surrender flag loud and proud. White flag is out here from Watkins Glen International. Unfortunately, Warren Johnson has fallen back just a little from this race lead. Here we're going to see Amethyst Reese, Daniel Higgins fighting for it here. Last lap. Only 7 coming to 6 turns left from the Wayne's World 50 here at Watkins. Looks like Andrew Bound, he has started to pull away from Jake Steckler here for the battle in Mazda MX-5. I'm not sure if the split screens caught it there, but we'll take a race replay of it there as we'll look side by side as Joe Rainey has fallen back out of it. Oh, here we go. Look at the room left between these drivers. White flag is out here. GR86 is battling it out for the race lead. Elbows out, but we are not going to trade paint here out of the carousel. Daniel Higgins, he's going to continue to hold off. Miss Amethyst Reese makes it happen here. Coming to the checkered flag. Daniel, you better hit your marks here, buddy. Just 2 turns to go for the Higgins #1 machine. works his way up to number 1 here tonight. Amethyst Reese, you got a feel here for she found her way up into the race lead, led quite a few laps here tonight, but for the West Coast Sim Racing GR86 Multi-Class League, Daniel Higgins will take away the checkered in GR86 class. Andrew Bound will take away the checkered for MX5. What a race here. Andrew Bound's gonna four-wheel it here. Oh, Jimmy Johnson Jr. there. Goodness gracious. I don't know if that's a valid thing to make there, as, well, that was a long time ago. Anyways, we'll take a look, before we take a look at the top 3 and, well, everybody finishing here tonight. We'll get some driver interviews here in a few moments' time. Here's Joe Rainey drifting it out of the carousel. That is how he eventually lost the spot to Josh Hunter there for the 2nd spot running in the Mazda MX-5 class. All right, these drivers just making their way downtown for the final time here tonight before everything is official. Stone Colby looks like he'll be finishing 7th here tonight, 14th overall. Oh, is he? 2 vehiclebuyers.com machines have tattooed. They're gonna have their steering wheels imprinted on their foreheads after that one. Joe Rainey, Rainey Homes Racing Mazda MX-5 will work his way up to P8. Well, actually fall his way down to P8 here tonight. Stick with us here, Stam Studio Network. We're gonna get these race results and driver interviews here in just a few moments' time. Daniel Higgins, congratulations, man. GR86 winner here. West Coast Sim Racing League, winning the Wayne's World 50 here out at Watkins. Amethyst Reese, you got a feel for her, man. We'll take a couple replays at it here as we take a couple driver interviews here. The top 3 in each class. Warren Johnson makes it up to top 3 in the GR86. Andrew, looks like Benjamin Forangel finished 4th in GR86. Andrew Bound, once again, congratulations, winning MX-5. Jake Steckler, just 0.74 seconds back behind the race winner in Mazda MX-5. Andreas Profana, he'll finish P5 in GR86, P8 overall. Ali Xe, P9 overall, P7 in class. Lewis Holloway, Andreas Gutierrez, their Impulse Effect. Make sure you check his socials out, coming in P11. Nico Colby, Steven Shakespeare, Stone Colby, Joe Rainey, Darren Colby, Brandon Birch, and Aaron Schultz running on our 18 driver field here tonight. All righty, welcome in. Daniel Higgins, how about it, man? Got yourself a copy. Alrighty, we'll be right back for the old Daniel Higgins. I know Amethyst Reese, though, we got her here live in the Victory Lane driver interview booth. Amethyst Reese, you got yourself a copy.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. How are you doing here? How was your race tonight? Walk us through it.
I'm forever a bridesmaid, never a bride.
No. I thought tonight would be the night. I think it led.
I know.
Led the most laps.
Yeah, and I had a great lead going in last lap, but Higgins got a monster run on me going onto that back straight, and then going through that chicane, we went through side by side ish, and I ended up with a 2-second slowdown, I guess, for cutting one of the curbs a little bit too much. And that basically destroyed any chance of getting him back before the checkered. But my goodness, that was a hell of a race between me, Daniel, Warren, everybody.
As we take a look at this sort of start to transpire here into the bus stop, I'm so surprised that we saw so much side by side here within the bus stop tonight, and then for there to be left so much room here between you guys. It couldn't have been closer there for you to get that slow down. I wouldn't have given it to you. But iRacing, gotta iRace. Amethyst, it was a lot of fun to see you battle it up here for the race lead. A lot tonight. Who we shouting out to makes it all possible for you?
Thank you to you for hosting the broadcast, and thank you to all the viewers. Y'all are amazing. I love seeing the chat every week. Thanks to my partner Ember, and special happy birthday shout out to Warren for running these leagues and races. It's so much fun.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Amethyst. Have a great rest of your night. I know it might sting a little bit, but it's going to help you tremendously in the points. You're already sitting up the top 3, and with a podium finish here tonight, it'll be lots of fun to see what the rest of the multi-class season has in store for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your night. That being said, let's see. I think we got the old man, the myth, the legend here. Congratulations, Daniel Higgins. There, we got it. How about it, man? Got yourself a copy?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Alrighty, well, you're sitting P2 up here in the points, finished P3 just a week ago from the Red Bull Ring. Congratulations on your race win here tonight. How did you do it? It seemed like that was just calculated. White flag, last lap pass there over race leader Amethyst Reese.
Man, I don't even know what to say after that. That was a wild race. I had so much to say. I'll try to keep it short, but yeah, just shout out to Amethyst, forehand Warren, the birthday boy. Happy birthday to Warren. I know he wanted that win. Who else? Yeah, just everyone. Oh, yeah, it was tough with the Mazdas up there running so fast. Equal place. Shout out Rainey and Bound for keeping it clean and letting us race. And after last week, I was real upset. I blew that one and made the boneheaded mistake at Charlotte. I think it was 2 weeks ago, but Charlotte, yeah, that was just, so I really wanted to win this one. I had this circled, and it was some door bang, and it was tough because we got the draft and we'd enter and the chicane, the bus stop, and it was side by side. It was really tough. It's just like who backed out first, and you kind of had to just feel it out, and who was a little bit ahead and not. It was tough, but that last lap was just hard racing, and shout out to everyone. I appreciate the good racing.
Daniel, last question for you. How does the big suck feel down the back straightaway down there within these cars there? Lots of draft and slipstream to work with, lots of momentum, but only within the straights. Swing!
Yeah, it was, you really had to get a good exit on the turn 1, and that would lead you all the way down to the straight, and whole race you'd either be side by side or just edging ahead, and it was that tough bus stop turn that everyone was going too wide in, and then the Mazdas were faster in certain parts and we were faster in other parts, so it was really hard racing. Luckily we got some distance at the end there, but yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to be first or second on the last lap, and I was going back and forth, and I decided to, I think I was behind her, Amethyst, and took the draft. Luckily, barely got ahead, and we were really side by side, and she just, unfortunate, got the slowdown. I was trying to give her enough room, and it was just so tight in there. It's tough.
Swing! Congratulations, Daniel, on the win once again up here in GRD6. And before we get going to MX5s, man, that's the old the Wayne's World 50 here tonight. That's a special race to win. Congrats once again. And that being said, we'll get to Warren Johnson before we get to Andrew Bound, Josh Hunter, and Jake Steckler down there MX5. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for joining in here tonight. Especially, man, thank you for joining here, Warren. Made it here to home in time, bringing OMP3 in the GRD6 class after leading a couple laps here tonight, too.
Yeah, how we doing, man?
Doing great after that race. A lot of fun to watch. We had some split screen action up here in the booth. Man, race start and race restart was pretty wild here. You made your way, you muscled your way up there to the race lead, and that's how you're able to lead some laps. It looks pretty fun here tonight, Warren.
Yeah, the restart was awesome, but I knew that the draft would have just totally killed. I got a second off of the first, because I took off on just before the final turn. I was channeling my inner Max Verstappen with the weaving and then going. So I tried to make it happen, but Yeah, that draft is just killer there, and Amethyst had pace, and Higgins, I saw him creeping up the field, and I knew that he would get to the front of the pack. And I guess there's a 2-second slowdown in the bus stop if you even touch the
That's crazy.
if you touch the grass, and it totally killed the race. As soon as that happened, it was over, because that would have been a really, really fun finish if that had not happened. But
Yeah.
2 seconds, but whatever. It was fun. I got a podium on my birthday. Can't really ask for more. So this was great racing. I think everyone had a good time that race. It sounded like it, and I was kind of bouncing back and forth between the chats. So I hope everyone had a good time. I know I did, so I appreciate all the birthday wishes, and that was a good way to spend the birthday for sure. And thanks for everybody for watching on the YouTube. Thanks to the Colbys, all the Apex guys for always joining up and racing with us, and thanks to everyone in our league. You guys make it possible, and showing up every week, and I really appreciate that. And again, appreciate all the birthday wishes. I was having a bad birthday because I was at work all day, and then now it turned into a good one because of the good racing. So I appreciate that. And of course you, Sean, thanks for broadcasting as always, and hope to see you out there in October at the real life Apex track.
Hey, I can't wait, man. It's a little dream come true action there. Can't wait.
Heck yeah, man.
Alrighty, Warren Johnson, happy birthday once again. Congrats on the podium finish. And that being said, we're going to get the Mazda MX-5 class here. Dr. Andrew Bound, how about it? Got yourself a copy.
Yeah, happy to be here. Joined late. Had no idea what I was doing. I've never raced this track in an MX-5, especially this layout. I'm used to running the full track. Is interesting. Very draft heavy, like wide open almost the entire race.
Man, it'd be interesting to get your thoughts here. My own, well, I say my own, where I come from here, NASCAR Land also runs here this week in the sim as well as real life. Be interesting to see. It's the same layouts. I'd love to see you try to tackle a completely different car here, both heavy as well as powerful. It's because, I mean, man, you said it's your first time here tonight, going to come away with the class win. What was it like? I mean, I know ask Daniel Higgins the old drafts question there, the swing. Andrew, how was that draft feeling here tonight? It looks like you gained quite a bit of advantage there going up the SS and down into the bus stop.
It's make it or break. I mean, I think easily the draft allowed a second, if not a second and a half. For whatever reason, like most of the MX-5 classes had to pit on the final lap, even though it's a fixed setup. But I think because we just, I don't know, maybe because we did one or two extra, out laps on the competition restart or something. But Joe was behind me, was set to take P2, and he had to go into the pits. I think Stone and Slater had to pit as well. I came across the line sputtering. Yeah, that's what there was. Almost all of the MX-5 class had to pit on the final lap. So I don't know if I was short shifting, which is why I didn't run out of gas that early. Or I was in the draft quite a bit. I wasn't really, pushing through the wind myself. Maybe that made a difference. I'm not really sure. But that's kind of what happened in the final lap, where everybody kind of fell through, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Andrew. I had my battle up here on the race lead here for GR86, 0.2 of a second. We had some split screen action happen here where we saw some battles here start to ensue, but I'm glad that you cleared that up, because probably have quite a few questions right now in the old YouTube chat that I would have had to address here in a few moments time. So thank you, Andrew. Congratulations once again. And man, like I said, hopefully one day we see you out here, Watkins Glen, in a NASCAR Cup car. That'd be cool.
When's the next race?
There's officials all this week, but I have some some league races that race at Watkins Glen this week. It'll be Tuesday and Wednesday coming up next week. But
okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the invite.
All right, Andrew, I appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of your night, and congrats once again.
Thanks, bud. Have a good night.
All righty, Josh Hunter, the man, myth, also another legend here. He's leading us right now in the multi-class West Coast Sim Racing points. He also won just a week ago from the GT3 class at Red Bull Ring. Josh, you got a copy. You'll bring it on P2 tonight.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, Josh, you sound a little dejected there. Mazda MX-5, it's a physical, it's a mental car to drive here. Although P2, what was going through your mind trying to catch that real fast Andrew Bound?
Yeah, I don't trust myself in these cars, so I didn't bother qualifying. Yeah, I just let natural selection do its thing, and there's a lot of chaos in the beginning. And I think I got lucky having a tow because I was able to add an extra gallon of fuel and didn't run out like everyone else did. And I don't know, just let the late breakers destroy their tires and catch them in the carousel, and I guess that's how I passed P2, P at the end. And yeah, just most of it just stay out of trouble.
Man, stay out of trouble, but there on the race start there, you were caught 3 wide, meat of the sandwich, ends up getting turned there hard into the outside wall, but thankfully that competition caution allowed you to come in and get that damage repaired. I'm just so surprised, man. Josh, you have so much pace, you were able to work your way back up to P2 after that pretty heavy incident earlier on.
Yeah, I just got lucky being able to catch the draft and bump a few people and just work my way back up.
Well, Josh, we appreciate your time here. It's interesting that this has really been the only race here that we've had fuel be an issue with the Mazda MX-5 and GR86 class. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward. And congratulations on your podium finish here tonight, Josh.
Thank you.
All righty, gonna have the old Jake Steckler machine here. VehicleBuyers.com if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell. How about it? Jake Steckler got yourself a copy.
What's up, Sean?
All righty, I'm liking what I see. The old pink and white paint scheme. Once again, bringing it home at podium finish here tonight. 5 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. Walk us through it, man. What was your race like here tonight?
It was pretty chaotic at the beginning. It's tough getting around some of the 86s because I was faster in some parts of the track and they were faster in others. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but the race start was pretty interesting. I think I got turned right into and ended up hitting Nico. I think I got some damage from the beginning, but managed to keep some decent pace and kind of like Josh said, natural selection happened and worked my way up there, and tough race.
Well, Jake, just like Josh, that's interesting. That's 2 drivers there. Well, it's a feat of its own there, you know, Josh and yourself. They're making your way up to second and third there after both incidents involved in lap 1. But like you said, it's so close on the fuel tonight that I think that it could have even possibly been a blessing in disguise, as we'll take one more look at the race restart here. Congratulations on your top 3 finish. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out to tonight?
Shout out you for putting on a good broadcast week in and week out. We always appreciate it. And shout out Warren for putting on a good race league for us. Happy birthday to him as well. And shout out Overstock Vehicles and VehicleBuyers.com. And hope everyone has a good night.
Appreciate that, Jake. You do the same, and congrats once again on your podium finish.
Thanks.
Alrighty, before we get going here, stick around. I got to shout out the old YouTube chat here tonight. Looks like Terry's gonna take away the race, the chat win. Aaron Schultz coming in with the close P2, tying D Ghost with P3. Melina, Moonlight Dancer, Ashley. Goodness, that's a 4 or 5-way tie there for P2. Thank you all for joining in here tonight as I'll flash the old race results up once again. I'll check in on the old YouTube chat saying what a race. The power of Nyan Cat is strong. Such a tight, great race. Keep it up, Amethyst. We had lots of Amethyst Reese fans here tonight, as well as Warren Johnson. Lots of birthday wishes there for the league owner. Appreciate, Warren, all that you do there behind the scenes, keeping it up. Keep up the hard work. My name's Sean Stam here tonight, Stam Studio Network. Thank you all for joining in. I'll catch you. Oh my goodness. Woo! First off day in weeks. I got tomorrow off, but I'll be right back with you Saturday. International Pro-Am Racing Series GT3s from Brands Hatch, and then Saturday night for the Bump and Run ARCA Series. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you for all your very nice chats here. Thanks, racers, for putting on a show here on the West Coast Sim Racing Multi-Class League. Have a great rest of your night. My name's Sean Stam, Stam Studio Network. Take care. Party on and excellent. I'll see you guys later.